question is how to guarantee a project with positive financial and human impact. So it's about the Nature4Cities socio-economic assessment tools. Mainstreaming NBS in cities requires an overall understanding of the socio-economic benefits, co-benefits, and costs. However, existing benchmarks established by traditional methodologies and tools are not always appropriate to assess the social and economic pillars of the NBS sustainability. In Nature4Cities, we attempt to address these challenges by developing and applying two complementary approaches, each to dedicate to assess one of the other pillar. The solution delivered to address the economic pillar has been named NBenefits and grounds on the concept of ecosystem services, while the tool implemented to evaluate the social aspects is based on the development of an environmental quality of life scale for NBS. How to operationalize these two approaches is the subject of this current session. It's going to be presented by Mr. Benedetto Rugani, Environmental Sustainability, Life Cycle Assessment, Urban Metabolism and Ecosystem Services Specialist at the Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology. He coordinates the Nature4Cities Socio-economic Assessment. Benedetto.
Hello, good morning. Thanks a lot for the nice introduction. My name is Benedetto Rugani, and I was leading the work package 4 of Nature4Cities about the development of a socio-economic assessment scale for nature-based solutions. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about this. Work package 4 of Nature4Cities focused basically on developing two complementary approaches to assess, on one hand, some relevant social aspects associated with the implementation of nature-based solutions in cities through the implementation of an environmental quality of life scale, which you have on your left side, and on the other hand, the costs and benefits in monetary terms of deploying such solutions with the calculation of the value of ecosystem services, which can be generated by nature-based solutions, against the life cycle costs of implementation. And in this regard, the common point, the trade union between the two assessment scales is right, the ecosystem services concept, which are the benefits we can get out of the functioning of ecosystems, and in our case, out of the functioning of nature-based solutions. So moving on the social assessment part, basically the team developed what was called environmental quality of life, which is a multidimensional concept and considers the benefits of environment on physical, psychological, and social dimensions of the quality of life, as well as the multiple aspects of interactions between individuals and the environment, such as for the thermal comfort, noise, quality, ambience, and so on and so forth. And in the project, the qualitative data were collected in 3 qualitative studies, which were analyzed in order to identify the links between the nature-based solutions and the quality of life and indicators of quality of life. And these indicators were used to construct the different modules of the environmental quality of life, and the statistic indicators of reliability and validity, let's say, were verified for the scale in the different sites studied, and then confirmed the possibility of considering the environmental quality of life scale as a reliable measure. So, as I said, the environmental quality of life is an operational tool dedicated to the assessment of perceived benefits of NBS in terms of environmental quality of life. And this tool can deliver a global score of environmental quality of life or independent scores for each of the modules. So 6 different modules, as indicated here, were developed in Nature4Cities, each based on a particular NBS, and a transversal module based on biodiversity as well. And in each module, the main links between the selected NBS and the sub-dimensions of the quality of life were identified first, where these links corresponded to an improvement or reduction, let's say, in certain aspects of the quality of life. And the sub-dimensions of the quality of life are basically security, social quality of life, feeling of security practices, satisfactions with aesthetics, and so on. Then I can also say that the environmental quality of life scale can be used in a variety of ways, such as a diagnostic tool to assess the overall satisfaction of individuals regarding the environment or existing NBS in their environment, and to assess user satisfaction if a given NBS is targeted, but also as an assessment tool. So to measure the efficiency of an NBS after its implementation by comparing, for example, with environmental quality of life before the NBS implementation. So moving on to the economic assessment part, during the last 3 years, we have been developed a concept first based on identifying the relationships between the urban challenges, the ecosystem services, and the NBS. And then a methodology based on these to represent the NBS in the urban context, and then accounting for the life cycle costs and benefits in the NBS model, and then a tool, an operational tool to develop urban NBS project with an understanding of the costs and benefits. So going to the method, basically, this was based on coupling between life cycle cost analysis of the NBS and the system dynamics modeling framework to assess ecosystem services. And a quite, let's say, complex model was developed, which can be summarized through this diagram, where different environmental and technological, social, let's say, capital modules are all integrated together, and then compared when the ecosystem services values physical are quantified and translated into monetary terms compared with the monetary terms from the life cycle cost analysis. And regarding the tool, this was called NBenefit. I'm going to make a little demo. Hopefully it works. Basically, this tool is a web-based decision support system for the evaluation of ecosystem services supplied by nature-based solutions. It has two interfaces, one to set up the simulation and another one to visualize the results. So here is just a demo case for the city of Madrid. The user can simply draw through a grid the place where the NBS could be implemented, then select an NBS. In this case, we only have for the moment urban forest as an NBS, but we are currently working on other two NBS. So once the place is found, the user can select the cells in this grid 10 by 10 meters and select among one or more species. In our case, we have 28 species at the moment. For example, it might be interesting to implement quercus and maybe let's say other species, and or for example magnolia, and place these all over the grids, and then decide among different parameterization for both the place and the management of the species. Then compute. It will take a few seconds. So thanks for your patience. And get out some results which basically look like that. On the left side, we have the costs of implementing the trees. the operational cost, which in these demo cases are set to 0 because we don't know what the management of this species is. And then the benefits also set to 0 timber prices because we don't know what is the end of this. And but we can calculate some social benefits in terms of ecosystem services, which count as a plus. We can also verify where the break-even point, so the point in time where the benefit will overcome possibly the costs, and get out the net benefit accounting. And we can also visualize from a biophysical perspective and the monetary perspective all the items that are listed above, and then download a simple reporting sheet with all the results summarized, and that's it. So I would say, as a take-home message for you, in this work package 4 of socio-economic assessment of nature-based solutions, we have developed 2 research and innovation direction pathways. On one hand, we have this environmental quality of life scale instrument, which is a survey-based solution let's say for community and individuals well-being assessment at the urban level. And we have NBenefits, which is a standalone software solution, but that has also, let's say, an integration objective within the Nature4Cities platform to provide a cost-benefit assessment of nature-based solutions. So with this, I would like also to thank the entire team that was highly contributing to the development of all these outputs. Gosselin, Colin from the University of Nantes, which mainly worked on the social assessment part, and me, Javier, Claudio, Laurent, and Thomas from my institute working on NBenefits. So thanks a lot. Thanks also to your attention, and we are all ready for answering your questions.
The way the ecosystem services are valued here, basically what we have from the tool is that we get the biophysical flow from the, let's say, the NBS module. So for each time step that we simulate, we know different type of ecosystem services that are produced, and we know them in physical terms. What we did is that we look at the literature of previous studies that were published, and focusing on at the European level. Sometimes we couldn't find studies at the European level, so we went to US or the temperate part of China. But I would say the largest majority are European studies. And we look for studies that estimated values of ecosystem services per physical or biophysical unit. So let's say studies computing the carbon sequestration euros per ton of carbon sequestered, or similarly for evapotranspiration services, etc. And that's how we value them. Basically, we applied a methodology that is called benefit transfer that allows to take studies done previously for similar conditions and apply some transformation to make them, let's say, valid for our case studies, in this specific case for Madrid. Concerning the fact that cost and benefits arise at different points in time, we apply discounting. Therefore, since, let's say, we are impatient and 100 euro today is not the same as 100 euro in 50 years, we had to account for that. And therefore, we use a discounting factor, and we actualize benefits and in order to make them comparable across time. And this is a parameter that can be set by the user.
Yes, the tool, the quality of the environmental quality of life scale could be used to measure the level of quality of life related to the implementation of one specific NBS before and after the implementation. So for this, we can implement a survey before the implementation of the NBS to measure among the inhabitants of the area, the urban area, their level of satisfaction with their urban environment of life. And after this, we can measure the level of quality of life after the implementation to identify the delta between the two measures and the efficacy of the implementation or not in terms of quality of life and satisfaction with the green and blue dimensions of the urban environment of life.